Columbia. My name is Jennifer Erickson. I'm the Executive Director of Columbia Access Television, and I'm so pleased to bring you another edition. It's our third, I believe, of What's Going On. We're talking about the Anti-Violence Task Force and anti-violence measures in town. And our host and our guide is Lorenzo Lawson. So I'm just going to turn this over to him. He's the Executive Director of the Youth Empowerment Zone. But I want to remind our studio audience, people at home, and our host that I'll be in the audience taking any sort of, if anyone tweets to us or sends us an email, and we'll talk about that in just a moment, how you can do that. And wants to be part of the discussion, I will sometimes interrupt, and hopefully we'll get some community interaction. Again, this is only our third show, so I'm guessing that as the year progresses, we'll have more and more interaction from the public. We want to hear from you, Columbia. So anyway, we have a wonderful guest on. Lorenzo would tell you who that is. And Lorenzo, take it away, but do let me know if you need anything.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Erica. Welcome to Columbia Access Television What's Going On program. This program is designed to let you know and enlighten the whole community of what's going on in Columbia and surrounding area. My name is Bishop Lorenzo Lawson, as Erica mentioned, and I do have an distinguished guest with me today. Actually, this is my brother, my friend. It's Bishop Lester Woods, a graduate of Grambling State University. He also got his a master's in public administration from the University of Missouri. He is currently working for the Missouri Department of Transportation in the Office of Administrators. So, Bishop Woods, you are doing quite a few things here in Columbia. Also, Bishop Woods is the Senior Pastor of Urban Empowerment, a local church here in Columbia, Missouri, as well as he is co-founder of the Silence to Violence movement in April of 2012.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to What's Going On,
Thank
Bishop
you so
Woods.
much, Bishop. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Silence to Violence movement? What prompted you to co-found that movement?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, Bishop, let me say congratulations to you and your brand new show here. I'm very excited to be one of your guests here on your third week. We need more activities and events and media outlets such as we have here with CAT TV doing the types of things and talking about the types of things that you're talking about. So we're very excited to be here again. God bless you on your journey, Bishop, in your new broadcast. In April 2012, I called you. Mm-hmm. You were the first one that God led me to speak to and talk to about this vision that I saw to address violence in our community. And what prompted it is in March of 2012, unfortunately, there were several shootings that led to the death of some of our very own teenagers in our community.
Yes.
And it pierced my heart. And I felt like something needed to be done. And I wanted to talk to somebody and connect with other people in the community to do whatever we could to address the violence in the Columbia community.
And as a result of that, those conversations, what happened after that?
Yeah. So I called you, and we kind of talked a little bit, and we thought about some other people to get involved. Basically, starting in April of 2012, we had several community meetings, and we strategized with the community at large. We're talking about the police chief, we're talking about the mayor, we're talking about pastors and other community-based organization leaders attended, and the school superintendent, and to help come up with a strategy to, first of all, bring about awareness to what was going on in our community. Mm-hmm. So I think one of the major successes that we did from those several months that we met and developed a strategy to march from the courthouse to the schoolhouse, because typically what we find, if we don't address young people in the schoolhouse, they'll wind up in the courthouse.
That's good.
Or other places. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to, lack of better words, reverse the curse and bring them from the courthouse to the schoolhouse. Ultimately, we had over 800 people show up the end of March. We marched to silence the violence, brought awareness to violence in our community, and it launched several spurs of different organizations doing different things that can be a long-standing avenue to really bring about some peace to our community and really bring about some resolution to the issues that young people are facing that are causing them to lead into violent issues.
Well, yes, and that was a awesome march. I mean, it was amazing to me that so many people came out from
Absolutely.
different backgrounds of the community, from
Absolutely.
different perspectives of the community, and it was all for one cause, and that was to silence the violence in this community.
That's right.
A lot of folks took that as being silence the youth violence. But that wasn't the case. Explain that.
Well, our perspective was to address every area of violence that could be had. There's not only youth violence and gun violence, but there's also domestic violence. There's bullying in our schools that is a violent activities. And so we wanted to really bring the awareness to silencing overall all types of violence.
And that's a key because I just seen on the news where a 12-year-old girl in Jefferson City committed suicide because of bullying. And I like the fact that this movement, this initiative was attacking, for lack of a better word, of all different kinds of violence.
That's right, Bishop.
I just recently heard of a young man getting murdered, and the word is it was his girlfriend that killed him. And this was just, 2 or 3 days ago.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's what I heard, and that's the word that's being talked about in the community. So where is Silence the Violence standing right now?
Sure. Great question, Bishop. I think that, again, one of the things that we really wanted to do at that time is bring awareness to violent issues. Several things that we found out in these conversations with the community is some of the things that will resolve violence is education, is employment,
Yes.
and self-empowerment. And so the whole aspect of what we wanted to do is be a clearinghouse also to lead young people that we come in contact with to places where they can increase their opportunities for education, they can increase their opportunities for employment, and they can have life skills and self-empowerment. And so where we are now, we spent the whole year almost really developing some things that the community said they wanted to see. One of them was the boxing facility, because the boxing facility, from my understanding, was an avenue that led the young people to focus attention on other things other than violent issues. And even though it is a consideration of maybe a harsh sport, for lack of better words, but it's a sport that disciplines. And you know all about it because you were a part of the boxing club at one time.
Exactly.
But one of the other things, so there's conversations in the community now with other leaders that are really taking that effort, and they're doing some things to really bring about that Columbia Boxing Club back to Columbia. The youth also said they wanted a fashion show. And through the Youth Empowerment Zone and a partnership, there was a fashion show that was held a few months ago, and it was an awesome display of our young people's gifts and talents and their ability to see positivity in themselves and address themselves and carry themselves in a way that is bringing about beauty and bringing about positivity. Exactly. And so the fashion show was absolutely awesome within itself. But some of the other things that we've done is really try to expose young people to education, to employment opportunities, and to self-empowerment opportunities.
Okay. And so with that, and you're speaking of young people, well, what about the older folks that, we were seeing on the task force that, yes, I think maybe 60% of the violent crime now is being committed by young people.
Yeah.
But then that other 40% is older folks and mature adults. Is there anything that
Sure.
Silence the Violence is doing to address that population?
Well, Bishop, I think one of the things I definitely want to insert at this point in the conversation is that what leads to youth violence? It's kind of hard to be something over somebody that you haven't been under anybody.
Okay.
In other words, Bishop, it's very hard to be a father if you haven't been fathered.
Yes.
It's very hard to be a mother if you haven't been mothered. It's very hard to be, a leader if you have not been successfully led. And so one of the things that we're trying to do, rather that needs to be done, is really addressing the adults and engaging them from a standpoint to determine and discern what it is they need in their lives. It's kind of hard to show a young person how not to be violent when all you've had is violence in your life too.
Exactly.
And so I think, let me put some scripture in here. The Bible says that if my people which are called by my name should humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, forgive their sins, and heal their land. I think for us as adults and those of us who are especially in the Christian community, we have to bring about a prayer life that is one that is attractive to God, of course, but that is addressing the issues in our community. And one of the areas of community-based organizations that we reached out to through the Silence the Violence Initiative is the church community. And so our church community has got to do some things to, toward evangelism, outreach, and community service that will address the adults in our community and believe, God, that through prayer, situations will change.
Okay. Well, you can get in on this conversation. You can call us right here at the studio at 573-876-7158, or you can email us at wgo@columbiaaccess.tv. If you want to tweet us, you can hashtag us at COMOWGO. Thank you for participating. Now, Bishop, as you were saying, you have asked, and we are encouraging all the community,
Yes.
because it's a community issue, and that's one of the things that the mayor received from the Silence the Violence, and
That's right.
was the fact that this is not just a certain segment of the community that got to worry about it, but the entire community, because it's affecting the entire community. Now, with that in mind, what is being done for as the partnerships?
Yeah.
Who else is partnershiping or partner with the Silence the Violence initiative?
Sure. Well, Bishop, I want to address again, first of all, I think that one of the things that Silence the Violence was responsible for was being a clearinghouse to develop and send young people to places that they can get help. In other words, there's no sense in reinventing the wheel.
Excellent.
And doing different programs that other people are already doing.
That's right.
So we wanted to send youth to Youth Empowerment Zone, and we've done that on several occasions. We wanted to send people to, the Y2?
YC Square.
YC Square, those different types of organizations. And so those are organizations that have partnered with us, but also the city has partnered with us. The public school system has partnered with us, bringing awareness. There is the Cradle to Career initiative that is led in joint partnership with United Way, who is a partner with us, a major partner with us. And so United Way, through the relationship with the Columbia Public School System, has developed a Cradle to Career initiative that I serve on, and you serve on also. So, those types of programs, along with the church community, I believe has to be a major factor in this also, and other community-based organizations, to really continue to raise the awareness, and not only that, but get people out.
Sure.
Get people out. In other words, whenever you hear of a What's Going On program, we need people to support these types of programs.
Exactly.
When you hear of Youth Empowerment Zone, who is doing their your men's program that's coming up.
Oh, yeah, Black Men Rock.
Black Men Rock. There you go, the Black Men Rock program. All of those initiatives, along with the things that our churches are doing, I think are very intricate issues and programs that the community and the church community has to support, so that we can be create a change.
If there's anyone that have any questions for Bishop Woods, and also for myself, again, you can call us at 573-876-7158. We will be glad. Jennifer will take your call, and she will allow you to speak online, and you can ask your question. Bishop, we know that the mayor's task force that he convened against violence, and and I think the mayor did an excellent job with the people that he have brought in on the task force. My question to you is, what do you see the government for as the city? Now, one of the things that he tasked us with is to bring recommendation.
Okay.
But not only what the city can do, but also the county and the community. And that's one of those, what I call a huge question. If you had a recommendation for the task force or the mayor that the actually city can do to improve, promote the silence to violence, what would it be?
Yeah, that's another great question, Bishop. Number one, I think that the mayor is doing an awesome job with pulling together those individuals whom he has pulled together to be a part of the task force. I'm familiar with quite a few of the members of the task force. Of course, you're on there. And so I know that with you and those others, the leadership is truly there. And more so, the leadership is there with individuals who have a heart for the community and who have a heart for the people. And you'll have to maybe, share with us a little bit more on the process that the task force is proposing to use to communicate to the community what those recommendations are. But I do think that based on your question, there definitely has to be a continued communication with the community at large on the recommendations from the task force. And, just getting the word out, getting the community participation in, as has been recommended, that the task force wants to hear what those recommendations are. But I believe, Bishop, my direct answer to you would surely be in the realm of employment. I think the Columbia Public School System is working on, through United Way and Cradle to Career, a lot of the educational factors. There needs to be life skills trainings and all of those different types of things, and pre-career types of trainings for various different types of disciplines. But I do think, though, that where the city has an opportunity to bring about a change is through employment. So what does that mean? I think it looks like bringing and ensuring that our business community is involved very much in providing employment opportunities for young people who typically and traditionally may not be employable. So in other words, once there's education and once there's training, then we have to make sure that there's follow-up and access to opportunities upon the education and the training that has been performed. Otherwise, we living in the XYZ generation. If it doesn't happen quick, they get discouraged, they get distracted, and they're back into the easy money situation. So what we have to do is create an opportunity for employment to cut the easy money situation and let them see that there's, if you're gonna really be productive citizen, you gotta work hard, and you gotta work positive, and you gotta be a taxpayer, for lack of better words, so that you can bring about some change to your own livelihood and your financial status for your family.
Well, thank you, Bishop. We just got a few minutes. We got about 7-8 minutes left in the program. And we do have some audience. If there's anyone that want to ask Bishop Woods a question, or myself, Bishop Lorenzo Lawson, feel free to raise your hand and Jennifer will bring you the mic and you can ask the question. We're talking about solutions to the violence that's going on here in our community, how devastating it is for us on our tax dollars, on lives, and the way we live our lives. Personally, I was born and raised in Columbia, and dating myself, I lived here when you could sleep with your door open during the summertime, and kids ran around, and it was just, you didn't worry about your children going into the wrong neighborhood because there really wasn't a wrong neighborhood.
Okay.
Columbia was a college town. You know, the University of Missouri, my blood runs black and gold. I was a Missouri Tiger fan way before Pico and the winning season. I suffered through a long time, but I'm getting to the fact that, you know, I know that every city goes through these type of changes.
Absolutely.
When you grow, and if it's a nice city like Columbia, been featured in Money magazine
Magazines.
as being one of the best city to live in, then folks immigrate to Columbia.
That's right.
Because of the opportunities that are here, makes it a very attractive place to live. But with that in mind, you know, growing a family here and everything, we got to be very concerned about what's happening in our community. Young people killing each other and the violence that's going on.
Sure.
And with that in mind, Bishop Wood, I want to commend you for taking a stand and stepping up to the plate, saying we got to do something about this, and calling me and say, let's start something.
Absolutely.
And with that, I want to give you the last opportunity to speak on whatever you feel that the public need to hear before we wrap this program up.
We do have one question, however you want to proceed.
Okay, come on with the question.
Go ahead.
This question is general. With all the concerns, what do you see as the priority concern? And after the priority is established, what do you see following afterwards?
And who you addressing the question to?
Question.
To both of us.
Yes, sir.
What do we see the priorities?
Yeah.
Priorities.
Priority
concern.
concern in Columbia.
As in regards to violence or lack of job or lack of support.
Okay. Well, what I see now, the trend have been, I'm gonna put it like that, for as the city, it's more police officers that have been the catch-all solution. We need more police officers. And the data have shown across the country that more police officer is not the solution. I mean, I'm not opposed to that because we do, and we're growing. We need more police officer, but that's a reactive measure. What do that mean? That means that perhaps you'll be able to catch them quicker after they commit the crime. But our whole just is how do we prevent them
Yes.
from committing the crime?
Proactive.
And that's our priority. Our priority is proactive. We want to put solutions together to stop them to even think about going committing a crime. What make them think about it anyway?
Sure.
So we ask the young people themselves, what can we do
That's right.
to help you not commit violent crime?
Yeah. And what they said was they desired more activities. That's what they said.
More places to go, safe places to go. One of the things I went and personally asked some young people that was downtown this summer when the shooting took place, and I said, well, why are you guys down here? Because it's a lot of young people just downtown. And they told me, they said, Bishop, this is, to us, the safest place for we to be at, to meet our friends, and it don't cost us nothing.
Yeah.
It's well lit. The police usually patrol this area pretty heavily. So we feel safe down here, and we can come and meet our friends, and we don't have to pay.
That's a good point.
And that struck me. That struck me. We need more safe place that is affordable
That's affordable. That's right.
for
That's
the
key.
young people.
That's the key.
A lot of them would like to go to the Ark, but they can't pay the fee every day. You know, it's things like that.
Sure.
Good question. Thank you for that. Anybody else have a question before we wrap up? We got a couple folks here.
Do I need the mic? Or?
Yes, because it got to be on air.
You know, I do lots of community development. That's what Steve and I do. And one of the things I try to do when I work with groups is not look at the symptoms, but what are the root causes? And violence is certainly one of the symptoms of the problem. I'm just curious from your perspective, what are the root causes of the violence? What is it that you really have to be proactive? You got to eliminate root causes. And I'd really love to hear what you have to say about the root causes.
From research and what we have found throughout, and they did studies over studies and studies, and one of the common factors that they all point to is poverty. That's the reason why Bishop Woods and myself, we realized that, and we talked to the young people themselves. When I worked with Almeda Creighton in 2004 when they had the drive-by shooting at the Columbia Mall. And from those town hall meetings, what we did, we went out and asked the young people, what if there was one single thing that we could do to probably curtail some of this, what would it be? And they all said, not all of them, but majority of them said that we can't get good jobs. Well, we looked at why they couldn't get good jobs and started putting together some programs to address some of those needs, such as job readiness training.
That's
A
right.
lot of them didn't even know how to fill out an application properly. When you come from poverty, what usually happens, you come from a teenage parent, and there's generation of this, and single household parents, low income. So that means that they're coming in a household where normally a two-parent middle-class kid, the life skills that they get in the household, these kids do not get.
Yeah.
They are ignorant to the fact that you're supposed to put on a shirt and tie when you go to a job interview. They're ignorant to the fact that you shake a firm hand and look a person in their eyes. They never have been taught that. And so it's just simple things that we take for granted these kids have not even have a clue of. So we had to put together the Youth Empowerment Zone to start training these kids just basic life skills because they come from a poverty background. So we believe that poverty is the biggest factor of this. Any other questions?
I think that was, we're running out of time on this show. But
Oh, okay.
Clearly we have a lot to talk about on this issue. This is going to be a monthly show.
Exactly, and hopefully we'll turn it into a weekly show. Thank you for tuning in to What's Going On. What's Going On is a show to enlighten you to issues like this in Columbia, and we will be expanding. We want you to look on, we got a rebroadcast every week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. and Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m., and you can watch this show again over the month. Our next show will be Tuesday, February the 4th. Thank you for tuning in. You have a wonderful day. And remember, stay safe and love somebody. That is the key. Thank you.